Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Oscar Overlander, the channel where we're making an expedition truck on our own. We fabricate everything ourselves. So today we will talk about the entrance door, also self-made. So therefore, stick around if you want to know how to make an entrance door. I have a lowered entrance on purpose, therefore I need a door which is taller than a standard door which you can buy online. So I moved you further back so you can see the entire side and the door. So we have two different types of viewers on my channel. The ones they just have basically time for 2-3 minutes or 4. For those, this door has a stainless steel hinge. Continuous hinge on the sides. It has a stainless steel handle set which is used in gyms. It has a door clicker to hold open, and on the inside there's a shielded handle set with a lock and a thumb turn, right? Additional to that, we have here a 3-point multi-lock, it's called. And on the inside we have a white, bright ABS PVC kind of panel inside. So just to brighten up the room. The whole thing is held in by door stops, which are around here, caulked to the door stops and to the interior panel. Gaskets, a 14 mil thick gasket, and that's about it. So, and for those of you they are interested in how really to make it in detail, the video will start right now. So this video will be a little longer because such a door is not made in 3-4 minutes. No, I can't continue with the panorama window. It's still too cold. I just need to be sanded and painted, but painting it is just too cold. Now I have to do something, and I thought I continue with the door. So I have made or ordered a base frame basically. This is the base frame. It has a small thermal break in it, so it's divided the outside from the inside. The inside is white, as everything is white, and the outside is mill finish, means pure aluminum. There's no coating on it. And now I'm going to double up the edges, so I have a shift here in the frame, so I can butt it against the frame in the habitat. And I just want to show you how I start, what the base is from where I go. That is how far I am right now. So basically there is that base frame, and then I have what do you call it, a subframe or something on top of it out of aluminum. Stabilizer frame is not really needed because that base frame is actually pretty stable, but I want to have these braces in there so we prevent basically that somebody is able to pry the door out of the strike plate, right? So if you stick in, here will be the handle set, the lock, or the handle set, right? So if you stick a pry bar in there and you push it over this way, you can't because of that guy and that guy. So that is how far I am right now. This is tack welded. That's basically the way it stays. And but main thing is that this is glued down, as you see this squirting out there. So that's Zika 252. Aluminum on aluminum, and that should hold pretty good. On my door, I'm applying the thermal brakes right now, those PVC strips. The thermal brake on the outside, basically to the outside skin, which is there already. It's prepped. There's primer around it, and here is one time primed, glue applied, and now I'm putting the PVC on top of it, one layer. But that's not all. I have here between the aluminum extrusion basically another thermal brake, so I have 2 thermal brakes in my door. which basically prevents that the cold temperature is traveling through the frame to the inside without any resistance, right? Now I glued the pan down on the frame with Zika 252 and clamped it down. Now I let it sit until tomorrow, until it's dry, and proceed from there. Now I took the clamps off. We have a day later, and turned the door around, so this is now completely glued on. Now I have to close these corners here, welding them and cleaning them up. Also have to clean up the little bit glue which is squirting out sometimes. And then I will start installing the hardware, and that I will show you as next. Now I have closed the corners of the door. It's all welded. Here as well. You can't really see it. I don't want to kick it down, you know, but you see this is closed. It's welded and cleaned up. That's why it's a little scuffed, other than the smooth stuff where I didn't do anything. So, and now we have this panel with the frame underneath, right? How do we make a door out of this? I will show you. So, first, which everybody understands, let me move your back so you can see it better. So, first, we need a hinge on the right side. Hinge on the right side. It will be a stainless steel hinge. This is the cutoff from my last one from the panorama hedge, but it will be very the same as this one. Stainless steel, 1 inch by 1 inch leg, total 2 inch. Next, we need a handle. We need a handle, which I have here. Let me move you closer again. Now we're talking about the handle. Of course, the handle has to be on the left side. And what I chose is, again, a gymnasium handle set, but even flatter, the one I used on the hedges on the outside. This one is stainless steel as well. Yeah. And has a, you can say, completely flush handle. Right? You see it here? So, this handle will be installed right here. Right there. I have to make the cutout, and then it gets sunken in and it's flat with the surface. Then, now it gets a little silly because, well, that's what the most people will say, it's a little silly, but the locking hardware is this here. Now, as you see, these are 3 parts, which should not be. Even this one is completely bent. This should not be there. The reason for that is we had to cut it apart. This is basically a multi-lock hardware. It is like that, and then you probably can't see it because it exceeds that way. So I put it here. You see it multi-part. So I have to bend this here. I have to bend this back. This one needs to be bent back exactly straight, and then I have to weld this together. Right? This is here. You can see this is the cut part. It's numbered. So yeah. Unfortunately, because of shipping reasons, or for shipping reasons, we had to cut them apart. A friend of mine did that and sent it to me. So it fits into a shipping box, because nobody would ship such a long, flimsy stick, right? And even if I would find UPS or something, UPS does up to 2 meters, I believe, but this is a little longer than 2 meters. But anyway, it would boost the shipping cost into astronomical regions, so that's why it wasn't worth it. I said to him, cut it up, and I will weld it together, craft it together again. So that's why most of you will say it's silly, but what can I do? I'm in North America. I want to build a European type style door. That's why I need the European type style hardware, and it has to get here somehow. Right? The Europeans themselves, they have it a little easier. They have everything on their fingertips, right? They just order from eBay or from wherever, and they get it to their doorstep. Yeah, kudos to them, but I don't have that luxury situation. So if this, I placed it over here. If this is installed in the frame, then I have these parts for the door frame. So let's say these are installed in this frame here, right? And then I need the counterpart, the strike plates on the door frame, which is already installed in the habitat. So, and therefore I have the one in the center, which need to be routed out of the door frame in the habitat. That belongs basically here, like so, into the door frame. And then I have these parts with the pocket kind of thing, you know, that goes on here. Then, and that goes individually. I have two of these right across from those deadbolts. One here in the frame and one there in the frame. And that is it. This is it. Then a cylinder keyed from the outside, and from the inside a thumb turn. That's basically it. I need a handle on the inside. This is all what I brought in from Europe, so I can finish this door up on a European kind of type style. You know, I know my head is always cut off, but I want to show you the hardware. My face is not important. So therefore, here you have it. This is what I'm doing to get my door done. Now I have it welded together. As you see here, well, there is a welding point, and here is a welding point. I bent this, which one was it? Oh, here, this one. This is slightly curved here, but this is the one I had to bend back. So now, as next, welded. It is welded. I just, also from that side, you can see here, it's welded. And they're welded, so this is fine. This is good. Looks good. I'm happy so far. Now I have to hook up these mechanics inside the gearboxes everywhere, and then see if this is still functioning simultaneously, all three together. And if, then woo, I'm lucky. It worked out. Now I have the three parts from the gearbox basically, or whatever you want to call it, you know, from the multi-point lock hardware. I have it welded together. It's painted now with a little bit of zinc paint. And I have attached the mechanical parts in the back. And if I turn now the driver here, if I turn them like that, like imitating a handle, all three parts pulling back. I'm sure you can't really see it, but those two and the one in the middle, they driving back. When I turn the handle of the driver, driving back simultaneously. So that means the hardware works. I'm lucky, didn't waste money, you know, and it's basically ready to be installed. Ta-da! The first layer of insulation is in the door. Hardware is installed here, locking hardware. But now I have to run out again and get myself some 3/4 inch insulation, because 1 inch is too tall. See, I got a piece of aluminum. This is 3/4. That I can push in there. But I need to still be able to put a plastic, which is interior. Inside will be a white PVC coverage or panel. And I need to go in there as well, on top of the 3/4 insulation. So I have to run out and find some 3/4 stuff. Now I have the glass stops in. By glass stops, I mean those extrusions, basically. See, I can clip them out. And that's how on every door, every window, European style, right? European style, the glass gets installed. Now I get a second layer of insulation and then the final sheet on the outside, just a deco sheet, a white one, which I had installed on the inside of the hatches, if you remember. The hardware is installed and I had to notch out the stop, and I cannot leave it like that, right? I mean, what would that look like inside? So therefore I need to come up with something, and I did already. So I as you may notice, this one is mill finish, so it's pure aluminum. It's not powder coated white as this one or the one at the bottom, because I need to weld something on there. So the powder would be in the way, it would burn away anyway. So that's why I choose to use a mill finish one, a aluminum one. And now I have to notch this out here and there, so I can put the cylinder through, right? The European type cylinder. I need to notch this out and then weld this onto the stop right there. And if I'm happy and it's all good, then I will take this off and send it into the powder coater to make it white. And then on top of this, I have enough width basically here then to install a handle set on top of it, right? So that's my solution. Let's see what it looks like on the end. Now this is in. I got this welded. So that looks a little rough, but that will be covered up. So next step, 1.5 mils, very flimsy. It just gives basically a nice washable surface. That's what I have on here, on top of the styrofoam. I hate to use styrofoam, but I couldn't find anything else with a 3/4 inch thickness. So, done. I have to put a caulking bead between the stop and the panel. But I can only do that if I get this one back from the powder coater. So I need to deassemble everything, so hardware wise, and then send this in to powder coat it, and then put it back in and caulk around the perimeter here on the glass stops, and then is that done. And by the way, now you can see how this works here. This is that one when I move the handle. This one's top, it's moving back as well. And here at the bottom, right there. Yeah, and also I can do that with the thumb turn here. I turn that. See, it's moving back. And I can turn it the other way, and then the deadbolt comes out. Yep. Today is the day I was looking for. Now I got it all prepped and laid out. Panorama window frame kind of thing. Then this window himself from the panorama window. My door. Everything is painted. It dried overnight. What the video didn't cover is how I fastened the continuous hinge, stainless steel hinge, onto the frame and also onto the door. So basically on the door edge, on the panel edge, I mean this edge here, this one, right, just on the opposite side, I put riv nuts in there and an M5 metric screws, flathead. I drilled and countersunk the stainless steel hinge, and I put M5 screws in there, flathead. And then also there's long M5 screws in there going through the frame into the steel. So this hinge is not going anywhere. It has been basically every 8 inches mounted, 8 or 10, I can't remember, mounted. So there's plenty of screws in it to hold this door. So a door need always be hinged at the driving direction side, so that if it accidentally opens, it gets slammed close again through the driving wind, right, through the airstream. So it cannot be hinged on that side because it would flip open and stay open all the time, right? And then even if you stop or you lower your speed, then it would swing this way and maybe harm somebody beside you. So therefore, it is against regulation to have it hinged here. It has to be hinged on the right side. For most people, is it common sense? But some of them, they never thought about that. Now, on the end of the video, a few words about the why I made my own door. That's basically pretty simple. My door is 2 meters and 20 tall, which equals 7 feet 3, almost 3. I checked the outbound web page and I saw the tallest door, if I'm not mistaken, by a few centimeters or whatever, is 1,850. So that's a foot less than this one. So if I have this door a foot lower, I would have an issue when I get out of the habitat, like, because this is pretty tall, and then I have to duck all the time to get out of the door or hit my head on it or whatever. So this is a no-no. Sometimes you see some flip-up windows above the door because they have only the standard doors available or whatever, you know. I decided to make a taller door, so it's 7'3", right, like I said, right? So cost-wise, if you compare, you can see if you go to the outbound web page, which is not a bad door. I'm not saying that. This is a beautiful looking doors. Don't get me wrong. But they're available in Europe and we're in Canada or in the States, right? So there is shipping, heavy, costly shipping involved, that's for sure. So the door was kind of priced for 1,800 or something, 1,800 euro, something about that, you know, and you can count on exactly the same for shipping, if not a little more, but it depends on when you ship and whatever, you know. Throughout the pandemic, it was kind of, yeah, well, we all know that. So anyway, you're already at 3.5, 3.6 kind of thing, euro, right? 3,600 euro for that door, including shipping plus import tax. There's harmonized sales tax on it. The 12% you have to pay, and then also duty fee, and that depends on where is it made, like in his entirety. You know, if some parts coming from, I don't know, way back where, you know, like then it gets a little more expensive. People, they're familiar with imports and exports. They know what I'm talking about, the duty fees. You know, that could add on. And then you have maybe local shipping fees from the port where the crate arrives with the door in it. You know, like a few $100 to get it to your place. And all this stuff, you know, it adds on to, I would say, 4,500. Well, that's 4,500 euro, let's say, you know, like all in. If it is, I never thought about that. That's kind of insane, right? If you know, in US dollar, it's probably five grand, and a Canadian dollar, it works out to seven and a half. So here's my $7,500 door. So what I did is basically I organized myself a normal frame, an aluminum frame, as you saw at the beginning of the video, with no on it, you know, like just a bare frame. That could be also vinyl, it could be wood, you know, the same method, basically what I told you when you saw my window video, how to make a window, double glazed window. You know, there's the same method. You just need a base frame. The base frame could also be just a square pipe, like an aluminum pipe. Right? You could stuff some styrofoam in there to have a better value, like energy efficiency value, you know. And then also between the pan, as you saw in the video, between the pan and the base frame is a thermal break. You could have that as your thermal break. I have two, as you saw in the video. One is beneath that locking hardware, and then that on the outside, right? The strip. So I'm just saying, you could use all sorts of base frames and then put that pan over it with some sort of a thermal break in between, so you don't have a connection to the inside. Because what happens is, if this is like, let's mean minus 20 outside, it will also have minus 15 on the inside if you don't break it up through a thermal break, right? You have to put a cut in there so the temperature transfer cannot go through the, you know, without hindrance, you know, going through the material. That's why you have to put a some sort of a non-conductive material in between. So anyway, base frame, that didn't cost me much, that base frame. I have a friend who can make that up for me. You know, this year the ABS, I had it left over because I bought the whole sheet for my hatches on the inside. They have that white ABS material on the inside as well. This is by far the most costly part on this door. This was 240 euro. I brought it in from Germany, you know, which equals basically, I don't know, I just do the math in my head. It's 400 bucks or something like that, you know, or a little more, over 400. This pen was 200 Canadian, so it would be 150 US. This would be 270 or 300 US, if you will. You know, that is 500 US. So this I had, but if you buy a new sheet for it, that's about 130 bucks Canadian, so means 80, 90 bucks US. This handle set, this handle set is about 40 euro, so 50 bucks, okay. The thumb turn, you can buy it for 20. If you want something higher quality, maybe for 50 US, yeah. This multi-lock is about 100 bucks US. So add it on, add it together. So this is, what did we say? I have no clue. 500, this was 500. This together 100. This maybe 100. This 100. So what is it? 700, 800. You see, whatever you do, you stay below 1,000 US. You know, like 1,200, 1,300 Canadian. Versus, I just said it, 7,500 importing, right? If you're done with it. Maybe my math is a little off. You can correct me in the comments down below if you want, you know, but it probably comes down to that, to those numbers, right? So that's my 2 cents. I think that's a lot of reasons why I have to make my own ones, because of the height, because of the width, because this is just, I had only this width between the arms here, you know, from my subframe. Oh, you can't see it, sorry. You know, like the arms, I have those arms here from my subframe, right there and there, right? So I had to keep the staircase within that, and the door has to have this particular width. So therefore, there's no other way to basically either custom order and that boosts your end price up, you know, or make it myself. So I have to come to an end now, because this is taken way too long already, this video. I hope you liked what you saw, and it helped somebody to make his own door. So therefore, stay tuned, and I catch you in the next one.